Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. This is Tuesday, the 17th day of June 2025. Last month was May, and on the 5th day of May last month, one of my fans in Kogi State, who is among people that normally gives me information when they need a rise. So he called me and said that there is a new terrorist group in Kogi State called Ansaru terrorist group, that these people are recruiting, and they approach one of his friends and they are asking to give his friend 3 million to become part of this terrorist group. So in one of my videos I made, I talked about it, and the following day, which is 7th of May, you can see it on the Guardian newspaper. Guardian also published it that yes, this terrorist group are recruiting. So that confirms the report my fan gave me in Kogi State. But that is not the problem. Because the problem here is that a country where civilians gather intelligence and security operatives suppress intelligence, I don't see how, such a thing will be helpful to everyone. The Benue State governor yesterday said something. He said the people that attack in Benue State, that they gather intelligence that they are moving to Nasarawa State to attack. So they are moving freely from one place to the other, and someone will come out to say that the security operatives don't know what is going on. That is apart. But why I started saying this issue of Kogi State is because someone just called me this morning telling me about the plans of moving 2 trucks of terrorists to southern Nigeria from Kogi State. You see, all these things we are saying, always write it down. Maybe tomorrow you will hear that 2 trucks of load was intercepted or will be intercepted in Edo State, because whether you like it or not, it's either day or night they must pass Edo State as far as they are going to the south, to the Delta, by all these regions, to the Sunrise. Now, the main issue here is that despite I have already reached out to some of my friends who I know that they are close ties to top vigilante group in Edo State to keep monitoring day and night, these people will surely pass. Some of them normally pass without carrying gun. Why? Because they have other means, other strategies of moving ammunition into the south. And the police, the DSS cannot say that they are investigating or they are doing this and they are not aware of all these things that are going on. Anyway, we are coming into that. I want you to stay with me in this video for me to throw you back to the history a little bit, for you to understand why there is a war of conquest in Nigeria.
Fulani people don't talk, say, look, they want you to... They won't carry this country, make it become their own. Make them come and say, they Fulani too. Now them get Nigeria. Fulani nationality movement. Now them attempted to assassinate me. They wanted to kill me. Now only God helped me that day. I tell you, these people say Nigeria, now the only country where belongs to them. They don't write them. I have documents to show this. I don't send them to president. I don't send them to police. I don't send them to DSS. These people say, look, nothing will stop them because they wanted this revolution in 1800 and they could not achieve it by Ottoman Danfodio. But now they must take over. That they have the money, they have the power, they have the weapons, and they have everything. So this time they must take over.
To understand, we are not the same people. The North and South are not the same. The British understood. That's what they are doing indirect, and they deliberately merge us so that we can continue to fight like this, and they can continue to take our resources away. To be extreme, for me, if you look at Sudan, or we have now North Sudan, South Sudan, I think we should have Northern Nigeria and Southern. Then they can practice whatever they want. There's no dialogue because they will not stop. I've told you it may take 1,000 years. They will still do it. Or if you let everybody go their way, maybe you have the north.
That is it.
They remain there and you have the sovereignty down south. Then you can do what you want. Or if you remain and you think you can talk to your Jersey and people that don't care about anything, it will happen. It took hundreds of years before Turkey, Constantinople, Istanbul was converted completely today. And if you look at history will tell you that you cannot assuage these people. Who owns those banks? I did a lot of research, and I want our audience to go and find out the owner of Taj. It's either we stay together or people should mind their religion and stay where they are and practice what they want. Imposing it on others is wrong. I study Islam. And I don't want to talk blasphemy here. If I start talking about Islam in the next 3 hours, we will not live here.
No, we don't want you to talk blasphemy either.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
Now you are watching up to this point, I needed to give you a background for you to understand the concept of everything that is going on, especially the new subscribers, my new followers here, because if you have not been following me for long, it will be like all these things we are saying is a new thing. It's not a new thing. Everything happening in Nigeria here, especially when it comes to the insecurity challenges, it is something that we normally discuss here. And after discussing it, you will see it happening. Now, I said this before, I am going to say it again. There is a new Benue state underway in Delta State. There is a special interest in Delta State. I don't know why, but there is a very special interest in Delta State. And if urgent measures is not, taken this time around, if everybody will continue to be politically correct and everybody will just continue to say, no, don't worry, nothing is happening, step by step, what is going on in Benue, God forbid, will start happening in Delta State. And don't take all these things for granted, because the security operatives who are supposed to say what we are saying will not say it, even though they know about it. They will not say it. Why? Because Bala Mohammed was on Chinese television when he acknowledged that they imported all these terrorists. In last 2 weeks here, another man acknowledged that they imported these terrorists on Chinese television. On Arise News, Abia Senator Inaya Baribe acknowledged that these people were imported. So what do you people really want? Now, if you import terrorists, you import Fulanese all over the world, you ask them to come to Nigeria, you've got to give them a place, you've got to give them a state, they have to belong. So if politicians who are in Aso Rock are importing terrorists, so any place they map up for them, take Benue, take Plateau, they will go there, commit ethnic cleansing, wipe everything out. Yes, they will wipe you out, take you, because your leaders have sold these places to them. What I'm saying is, it looks like, is this normal? Is it okay? But it's okay in Nigeria, it's normal. Because what you call abnormal in other countries is normal in Nigeria, because Nigerians don't react. IBB said in his book in page 336 that Nigerians are badly educated, that when you push them, go here, they go, they don't ask questions. Everything you tell them is yes sir, yes sir. That is the reason why we are like this. And I do not blame the man. What he said is correct. Now, I encourage vigilante people in Edo State. I don't call police, I don't call military, because these people can't do the job. The job is for the vigilante groups. So if the vigilante group in Edo State will be able to keep on monitoring as they are doing before. Yes, I decided to use this statement because the vigilante in Edo State are top-notch. They are doing excellently well, even including this Edo Security Service, ESM. Before, all these people are doing excellently well. And I urge them to continue to monitor all this influence of these terrorists into southern Nigeria, because these people are not giving up. You just listen to Tom at the beginning of this video. I have to allow you watch those videos for you to understand that these people are not giving up. Your governor cannot stop them. Military can't stop them. Police can't stop them. The only people that can stop them are the indigenous people. And that is why someone like Nnamdi Kanu did what, was doing what he was doing before he was, kidnapped from Kenya, and they started chasing him up and down. They knew what is going on. They knew, he understood that this is where everything is going. Most of the things he said is happening up till now. But the man is in detention. And let me tell you, if Nnamdi Kanu is released from detention today, believe me, most of all these casualties and insecurity heading south will not happen. It will not happen. This is just free of charge information I'm giving to you. And those people who are following politicians, they will find it difficult to buy these things, because they believe that let us just fight for one Nigeria. Let us just make things go well for everybody, without understanding that it is not possible. They are doing so because they don't want anything to happen where the source of their money is coming from. They don't want anything to happen to their oil blocks, to their custom, link, oil well where they are making money, doing all sort of things. They don't want it. But at the detriment of their future, at the detriment of their destiny, at the detriment of their children's destiny. That is what pains me most. Most, Nigerian elite and businessmen are disconnected from the reality. But the reality will hit them hard.
In trying to remove Jonathan, there were stateless persons that were from the Sahel region that were imported into Nigeria, and a former chairman of PDP made that statement. I'm not the person that made it.
But that importation is a fact, is it?
That importation is a fact. What has happened in Nigeria is that most of the time when something comes up today, we never sit back and say, how did we get to this point? We got to this point by virtue of the fact of the effort to remove President Jonathan. There had always been this herder-farmer clash, but it never got to this point where whole communities were exterminated so that some people will be roaming freely within their land, which is what happens in Plateau and in Benue State.
I think Benue is the worst hit.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because most of the banks of the Benue is lush because it's watered by the Benue River. And so these people came and they want. And who are these people? And that's a question that we have not dealt with. The bill first said that we have to confine these people to the ranches within their states of origin. And somebody woke up and said, no, every Nigerian has a right to go around. There's no such thing like a state of origin. Why will anybody make that statement? Reason is that in trying to remove Jonathan, there were stateless persons that were from the Sahel region that were imported into Nigeria, and a former chairman of PDP made that statement. I'm not the person that made it.
But that importation is a fact, is it?
That importation is a fact. If you ask any Nigerian Fulani, he will tell you that there's something called the Bororo Fulani. And that Bororo Fulani are these imported ones. They don't own land. Therefore, what they want to do is to settle in Nigeria. They were given free passage, let me just say it, by the Buhari regime. And we were shouting at that time, don't bring people into Nigeria who are not Nigerians. They won't have sympathy. They won't know what has happened. All they want to do is displace you, take over your place, and roam freely within that place.
But there were cattle herders as well.
They were, but the Nigerian cattle herders were not carrying AK-47 rifles and other.
So these guys brought their guns
So
with
these guys
them.
brought their guns with them. First thing they did was to start to rustle the cattle belonging to Nigerians. And so a Nigerian herder who loses his cattle has nowhere else to go. He becomes part of them because he is given, okay, you either join us or you got nothing. And some of them, of course, joined. And so we have this complicated problem. And this complicated problem is what we want to solve by saying, can we confine you to a particular place? If you have, okay, what you want to do is to move your cattle from where there is grass to another place where there is grass, and you can roam around with them. And I also pointed out on the floor of the Senate that Governor Ganduje at a particular time said, my state, Kanu, has more than enough land for all the herders in Nigeria to go around with it.